Hey folks, what's up? Coach Patrick here, Endurance Nation, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit today about going epic and what going epic means. Those of you who follow me on Strava elsewhere know that I've been known to go out there for a long ride or two, maybe me, a hydration pack and a really bad map, and come back, see me in a day or two, and life is good. This year, highlights have included not just trips to Italy, um, and to the Spring Classics for multi-day riding on the cobblestones, but also Unbound 200, where I was 10th in my age group, which will remain undisclosed. I'll share all my stats, not my age group, but super pleased with that performance. Hard to believe I was able to come in under 12 hours and do so well, even though I totally messed up so many things. But that's part of the magic, part of the epicness. And I'm about to go and do it again. And normally I'll tell you after the fact. And people are always asking me, how do I get there in the first place? So I'm going to talk a little bit about actually how I break it down and actually get from point A being like today to the actual start line of an event. The event that I'm going to be talking to you about today, that I'm going to be jumping into, is the D2R2. I've done it twice before. It's an epic ride and put on by the Franklin Land Trust in Western Mass. Western Mass is just a treasure trove of riding. It's incredible. And they do a great job. And so I've done the 180-mile event twice. And this year, they're rolling out the mystery ride. Now, they've always had a mystery ride. You sort of sign up and you don't know what you're going to get. But this year, they decided to go big. And they went out there and actually put together a 200K ride. So come with me. I'm going to show you a little bit about this ride just to whet your appetite here before I kind of get into it. This is the whole setup here. Let's go check out the rides and the routes. There's a bunch of different rides, of course, to kind of get you ready, whatever you want to do. This is the one that I've done in the past, 180K, 13,000 feet of climbing roughly. Pretty epic. But this year, come on. So they put out a 200K here at the bottom. It's like at the bottom, they did this. There's even a letter from Sandy kind of breaking it down for us. There's new land that the Franklin Land Trust has been bequeathed that they're actually putting into it. The letter itself is 6 pages long to give you some context. It's amazing. You can't ride anything less than 40s on this. There's Jeep trails as well. Plenty of hike-a-bike sections. I'm beyond excited. So let's jump in and just take a look at the route here real fast to see what it looks like. Start time is 6 a.m. You can get a sense for it. You can see the different terrain here. Obviously, the dirt being all the white sections. It's roughly the same amount of climbing, just under 14,000 feet. Except it adds about 20 more miles. And a lot of it is, which means it's more rolling than it is like steep and kickerish, but it does add some of these Jeep trails, which are unmaintained roads in Mass. So like a class 3 Jeep trail in Mass, in Western Mass, is like a class 4 in Vermont, which is just awesome, right? Like class 4 is like amazing. On my 45s, I love it. So I'm super excited about it. You can see the whole terrain here. There's 3 pit stops on this particular ride. There's one here in this 2025 range. There's one right around like 60, 68, just for Todd Mountain. There's one at like 106, which is like a watermelon stop. And then you got all this trail ride stuff home. It's going to be incredible. I can't wait. Last year, it took me about 7 hours, I think, maybe 8 hours to do the 180. I'm expecting about 9 hours for this. So if I start at 6, I'll be done at 3 or 3:30, give or take. So a big day. Plus, I've also got to get to Western Mass and back. So it's a huge to-do, but it's absolutely totally worth it and amazing. Let's see if we can even just zoom in here for a second to see if there's some of the highlights here from some of these sections. So you get a sense of like, oh, what are we talking about here? So you got your typical like beautiful like Western Mass road, etc. And then we're going to just jump right off of that and dive into the woods, basically, as an example. Here we go. Pull that right up for you. Here we go. Boom. Right up here. Like beautiful roads. And in fact, because it did rain today, it's going to look a lot like this. Now, don't be deceived. There's quite a few really steep and pitchy sections that aren't just friendly roads that you are sort of exploring when you're out there. Particularly this 85-mile section, this descent is like renowned for being just chunky and beefy. But as you can see, like cars don't even go out here. It's just gorgeous, right? I don't even know what we're going to see. What are we going to see when we get out here? Just beautiful, gorgeous outdoor land. And the best part about this ride is that the Franklin Land Trust actually does a really good job of staggering these rides. So like proper aid stations, really good food, excellent volunteers. Like they put on an excellent ride. I've organized my own and done many epic rides where it's just kind of DIY, best of luck. Hope you make it back. If you don't, tell us when you don't make it back. that you didn't make it back, right? So that's not what we want. So how actually do you put it all together? What does it look like? And so I thought I'd kind of share a little bit about my process so you got a sense of like what it all means to me. So here's what I do. Like step number one, it's all about setting the stage because, right, I've got a family, I've got other people in my life. So step one is just setting the stage about the event, like knowing when the event is, planning ahead. So I've got it on my radar. I don't talk about it too soon, but I kind of throw out some ideas about stuff that I'd like to do in case it does or doesn't conflict. Rides like this are great. You can just pay when you show up. I can pay cash on Saturday morning, so I don't have to worry about an entry fee, which is the best part about some of these gravel events. And so I literally just got the clearance to go do this today on Wednesday for Saturday, which is fine, right? And so I've got to go through the process now of pulling it all together. So the way that I kind of do this, which is I've got a checklist on my phone, but I've actually turned that into a GPT, which I'm going to share with everybody in the comments when we're all said and done. And it actually walks you through a quiz section of what you're going to do. So here's what I end up doing. First and foremost, when I have confirmation, I clear my schedule for training. So I make sure that I'm well rested. There's no workout now that's worth doing anything else ready for that event. Number two, you've got to go through the logistics. So I went through and pulled all of the information off of that website, including the letter, including the files and the GPX, the pit stops, the notes, all my stuff from the reports that I did before, put it all into one file. So I've got all this information in a single place, so I can't mess up anything else. It includes, in fact, the stuff that I forgot last year. Because remember, I'm getting up at 2:30, 2:45 in the morning. I'm going to drive 2.5 hours to Western Mass to pay cash to register, to start riding in like half an hour, and then ride for 9 hours. So everything has to be ready 24 hours before. So with this checklist, what you're going to do is actually set up the day before on Friday morning, like I'm riding on that day, even though my ride is until the next day. So bikes on the car, tires are pumped. I've got a barrel of all of the stuff that I need that I always carry with me for all of my gravel rides, which is like an easy thing to kind of pick up and carry and put inside my car. That is all my backup supplies, but I've got a checklist that I'll be running through the night before, which I've actually even printed out and put right here for myself. So I have everything that I need, including Ziploc bags for the rain, because that's going to be a nightmare when I'm out there. My extra power bars, which with my early notice, I went to Amazon and just bought today. So I have all that extra fuel. I've got my hydration pack here, and I've got 3 bottles on my bike from Unbound already. So I have all those fluids ready. But what I really need to make sure that I do after getting all the gear and stuff pulled together, looking at the weather one last time so I have the right kit, is actually making sure that I prepare all my food on Friday for Friday night and for Saturday morning. I'm gonna have to go to bed super early, like lights out at 8 o'clock, so I can get enough rest before I get up for the big day. But I've got to have breakfast ready, so I'm gonna go with overnight oats. So I've got all that ready, so I can eat it in the car. Starbucks not open at 3 a.m. So sorry, East Coasters. So I've got to make sure that I've got some coffee ahead of time in the car so I can roll up. So that by the time the sun comes up at like 5, maybe Western Mass, some of the rest stops will be open then. I can make a pit stop if I need to before I head out to the big venue. Okay. Now, no joke. The time between pulling up to the place and actually getting ready to ride is not one for messing around, right? So order a business, I pull right up and I go right over to the tent. I've got to register and get all the information downloaded already and then put on my bike, the number, the bib, the check-in stuff, all of that. And then it's right back to my bike. I've already got my bibs on and everything, and I'm getting my bike ready, putting the finishing touches on the fuel. Because it's a 9-hour day on the bike, I know that I'm going to have to be really smart and intentional in my pacing. The first 20 miles are uphill. But it gets a little spicy in the beginning as people try and find some gaps in separation, just so they can ride their own path on some of these Jeep trails and single track that'll be coming up across the course of the day. So I have to be ready to push a little bit harder. So I bring some solid food for myself for those lull hours, which are the downhill and flat sections on the longer part of the ride. Over 14,000 feet of climbing in 180-ish miles, 130-ish miles, I should say. Life is plenty time and chill for eating. But the key for me isn't just the food, it's the salt. So what goes inside that bucket? I'm glad you asked. I've got my battery pump. I've got my spare tubes. I've got my glasses. I've got my spare SRAM batteries. I've got a backup pair of sunglasses just in case I need them. I've got 2 tubes in case I do flat when I'm out there, and all the requisite bacon strips and all the things that I need. And all of that goes in a plastic bag, and all of my stuff goes in plastic bags for these epic rides so I can make sure that I'm good. The most important thing I have in those bags, aside from the salt and the calories, is some Advil or Tylenol, just in case something starts to go wrong and I'm unhappy. Yeah, that too, and maybe a little one of those little extra chamois cream things so I can be safe, right? Of course, my computer's set up to mark my location so people can breadcrumb me and track me all day, so I'm out there and I'm safe. But when you're thinking about putting together an epic day, you really want to be super smart about what you're doing. So let's head over here right now, and I'll just kind of share out again so you can see. This is the course that we'll be doing here on Saturday. and putting it together in terms of like all things that are going on. But when I talk about how I get ready for it, even more importantly here, I head over to my Chat GPT, and I've got my Epic Ride GPT, which I've just gone ahead and put out here before. This Epic Ride GPT, I put in all my information. I took all the information that came on the race website, including the note, the file data, the information, everything we need. 6 pages of notes go inside here. And the GPT walks me through all of the stuff that I need with the details, particularly for me, I need of time, when I need to leave. It's going to ask me a series of questions once I put in the stuff that I need. I uploaded the information here. It's asking me if I've done all the things that are required by the ride. Am I running 40C or wired? Yep, I'm running 45s, right? Amazing. Where's my repair kit? So it's prompting me like, where's my repair kit? Hey, 14 hours. That's what they're estimating on the website. No way I'm going 14 hours. But how do I have enough calories for that? That prompted me to go over to Amazon and do some shopping super duper fast. It's got the times here, the places here where I get to stop. So 30, 68, 96, and 106. This crowning shield actually is the bailout. And it's the self-serve thing. So it'll be a cooler on the side of the road. So badass. Before we get going, the lights, etc., got my IDs, etc., all weatherproofed. Of course, the GPT much smarter than I am in terms of what I need to make sure they get it ready. And so I've just sort of trained this GPT Epic Ride to be my companion for these longer rides, and I'll talk to it. Like I usually use voice mode just to go through to make sure I've got everything I need, and I'll be like, "This is what I'm doing." When do I need to leave, or what do I need to do? Because I often find that if I wait until the day up to start pulling things together for a ride, I'm unsuccessful in terms of getting out the door on time. But if I start thinking about it, half an hour or 2 hours or half a day, right, or a day before, all of a sudden I can pull all the things together that I need. And this GPT is my companion to do it. So to recap here, just in this quick video, when you're trying to think about doing something big, like an epic event, you actually have to back up to set the stage to make sure that you've got the capacity to do it and the bandwidth with your family. Then you got to make sure you're fit enough with the training, of course, but more importantly, that you taper the week of, and I can check that box for sure. And then you've actually got to start planning right away. The minute you get confirmation, making sure you have the calories, the routes downloaded, the backup information, etc., because you're going to have to be traveling to the event and then actually just jumping right in and doing the event itself. Nobody's waiting for you. This isn't just like a ride with your friends. And even that's kind of a little pushy. This is much bigger than that. So the big thing that I need is to make sure that I've got my backup battery, also waterproofed, so that I can make sure that I've got enough battery and phone coverage so that I can go through this full 10-hour day experience on the bike. I can't wait to do it. I know you're excited about doing this epic stuff as well. I'll be sure to put it on the Instagram so you can see the whole layout for it for sure. If you want to learn more, you can go to the D2R2 site. Let me pull that up for you here. Run by the Franklin Land Trust. They have a ton of events. All the money raised from the events go directly to purchasing and maintaining land and trails for this event, which is amazing. It's all out in Western Mass. I've got a variety of rides for you to do. I'm excited to go back for my 3rd year, put this together. But I just want to encourage all of you not to be like, not to be so too, I guess I would say 2 things. Like, don't be so dialed into like the races and feel like, oh, I've got to do a race in order to be epic. The best part about gravel and off-road stuff is that you can roll your own, or you can actually just jump into an event like this that doesn't have the same, they just kind of like, they play bagpipes and then people just roll out. Like, you don't need to have a race like that to have a race. You've got Strava. Last year, you were able to go back and see, I saw that I put up the fastest time on the course last year, just on Strava. I didn't need to actually have a bib on or anything else like that. I was able to put it all together. So remember, when you think about it, pick the events early, know when they're on the calendar, and have them saved. Plant those seeds early with your family just in case to see if you want to make it work. Get confirmation about 7 days out. When you have the confirmation, start resting, start shopping, start packing, and start planning. And you can use that Epic Ride bot to do it for yourself. I'll go ahead and see. I don't even know if I can post a comment. Here, I'll put a comment right in here now. I think I have the link to the GPT right here. Let's see if I can find it. I'm not sure I saved it. All right, let me pull it up right now. I'm going to go get it. Bear with me. There we go. I'm going to pull this up. It's called Epic Ride. You can find it in the GPT store. Let me see if I can copy that link here. All right, let's see if this works. I'll drop it right in here for you. Hopefully this does the trick. There you go. ChatGPT takes it right there in the comments. Go ahead, use it before your big rides. Get it to ask you the questions you need to be ready. Make sure you're fully packed up and everything so you don't miss a beat. There's nothing worse than getting to your big day, ripping everything out of the car and realizing like no helmet, one shoe, uh, wrong socks, no socks, right? Or like half nutrition, expired nutrition, no contact lenses. Like all those things can go wrong, especially when you're trying to roll your own. So use the GPT that I built here to make it work. And share your Epic stuff as well. I'd love to hear all about what you're up to. For me, 200K this weekend. Definitely hit my weekly totals in a short order, especially since I've been laying low this week. I can't wait to hear what you're up to. Thanks, everyone. Be well, be epic. I'll see you out there.